And let's process the Stochastic Fiction Game. The Stochastic Fiction Game is a timed writing game. I'm going to give myself 2 hours today to be able to create a story based upon this script I'm about to create. It's a Python script. I'll post in comments later this script's location. What this script does is it creates an outline like this, creating a random set of story elements that we're going to read aloud right now. And at the end of the story of the Stochastic Fiction Game today, that is, I'll read this aloud. Oh, well, there we have. For our today's Stochastic Fiction Game, we have some story elements. These story elements will be setting time past, setting main location river, conflict person versus nature, quantity of primary characters mini, point of view first, tense presence tense, genre crime, format flash fiction. That's the story elements for today's Stochastic Fiction Game. The timer right here is going, it's clicking down. There's also a timestamp in this file right here of when this was generated. Future generations will be able to see when it was created exactly, as if they'll care. Let's go, though, because I care about this story right now. And we have where we want to go. It's by a river, person versus nature, crime. First person, present tense, flash fiction. Wow, that's a great alignment of like not only location but conflict. The crime part can add into it, maybe? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. I should think here. Let's think out loud like I do with this. I'm trying to get my mind focused on this person versus nature story. Crime. Like I feel this is a person running from the crime. The conflict is person versus nature, and they have to survive. They're on the run, I suppose. It's by a river. Makes it convenient. They ran down by the river. There's many characters. This is first person. Do I need to call out the crime? I need to call if it's a crime genre. Crime genre, like that's usually like true crime, some sort of detective story. In this case, I think it's just going to be a criminal on the run, trying to hide down by the river. How am I going to make this a flash fiction story under 800 words? It could be inventive. Person versus nature, the crime. We can make it this illegal. Make it really exciting. So the crime genre on its head, and it's probably been done before. You can make this about like illegal environmental dumping, but in 800 words, my gosh. Like shoplifting is a little bit easier to tell a story about than illegal dumping. I mean, I guess suppose not. You know, you start off with like dumping toxic waste into the river or rolling the barrels down. The illegal dumping of waste. I mean, that's all. Those are all things that can be done and talked about. Let's try to write it. Do I want to do waste dumping? I mean, that's crime. Person versus nature. But if the criminal's on the run, then you can really have it person versus nature with some noob that doesn't know what they're doing. Quantity of primary characters, point of view, tense. Not certain. Like I gotta decide sooner rather than later on this. If I did it about the criminality dumping stuff and trash by the river, stretching the sense of crime genre and nature. Maybe everybody does it. And it's first person. I got to remember that. I was about to go third. I'm just going to write a note. Everyone is dumping stuff down by the river. It's getting put back into their water. And they wonder where it's coming from. It's criminal in most places just to illegally dump stuff. It's also very just pathetic. But, you know, you treat the environment, it'll treat you as you treat it. That's how it does. That's how it goes. If this is someone on the run, the chase sequence is a little bit easier. This would be person versus society, though, if you had someone on the run, because the main conflict is the fact they stole. The nature conflict only exists. Well, you can have many different types of conflict within a story. The primary conflict is this person versus nature. What would their CSF be? That'd be the easier one. No, they'd both be difficult. And easy only exists once you're done and published. Every moment up to then is difficult. Yeah. Setting time pass, setting main location, river, conflicts, person versus nature, quantity of primary characters, many, point of view first, TAN's presence, TAN's genre, crime, format, flash fiction. There's a lot of quiet moments going. I'm just trying to, man, this is just not. Just pick one and go. Where's my mind at? You know, I'm thinking about the environment a lot, but let's be honest, I'm a hypocrite. I think about it, and I do a little bit. I'll throw money at it a little bit, but yeah, I'm not helping the environment sustain humans much like every other human. Wow, that could be the deeper crime. Versus nature. Maybe that's just it. Maybe I don't have to go to this typical cliche. I don't know if cliche is the right word. It could be. Trope, maybe is a better one. Because as I'm thinking about the criminal running through the river, I'm thinking of like movies where the criminal is running through nature and hides in nature and has to try to survive in nature, and sometimes they have the skills and they don't. Okay, that's neat. And it is. Those are good stories, and that's why I just don't feel like I need to write one of those stories today. The story that I wouldn't mind focusing on now as I hone in on it is the person versus nature and crime, just by their daily habits, in that they're calling themselves sort of environmental or not even caring, I suppose. And it's not so much the person, I guess person versus nature is that typically is an inevitable threat of your environment around you when you're outside of the realm of technology and society. The innate law of nature and trying to survive it versus your comfortable human life. For most people, at least most people are probably able to ever hear my voice being broadcast right now. Your life's probably decent. It could not be, though. I mean, this is heard during the future after dystopian or some fascist takes over. Anyway, let's not go there. Let's go with something that bends the genre a little bit. Let's have the crime be of a camper. And it's versus nature. What's the crime? That you leave a trace. Well, you're going to call out the story title, even because there's that idea of when you go camping or when you do any serious outdoor nature stuff, you leave no trace, which is a great theory. I don't know if theory is the right word. It's a great practice. And it's a good intention, but usually it's just an intention. Maybe the idea is they're leaving a campsite. I don't know. And then I don't know. I'm making this harder on myself than it probably really should be. But you can only write the same story so many times, and I feel like the story about some criminal running along the river has been done. Like first person, I can get my own arrogance, and I can focus on me and my belief and the crimes I've committed against nature. How would I do that first person? Like first person running from a scene of a crime and trying to hide. I could even call that leaving a trace. Call it leave no trace. That'd be a better one. Probably be a little easier. I'm 15 minutes thinking and I'm just talking. Let's write the idea out at least. I mean, I got plenty like kid can't pick up their own. For heck's sakes. Kids can't pick up their own candy wrappers for heck's sakes. We'll say the kid's name is Charlie. Just because I don't have another name in my head other than that right now. I don't want to think about gender or anything. It's just going to be a name representing a kid. Kid can't pick up their wrappers. It's all over the campsite. I'll hold up the brown wrapper. With chocolate. Okay. I think this is what I'm going to do. It's going to be a person picking up crime. Smeared with chocolate, stuck on weed. Stuck on weeds, flapping the morning wind. The brown wrapper smeared with chocolate weeds, chocolate stuck, chocolate still smeared with chocolate. Flaps. There we go. We get a scene. Flaps. Sticks on weeds and flaps with the morning wind. And ember pops. And there's Charlie. My finger snapped. Snapped. Past tense, right? Present tense. Fantastic. Okay. At least I did something right so far. A long way to go to fail. Well, I think I already have a couple times this morning. It is the morning for me. At this point, at least. Quickly how one can fail. An ember pops, and there's Charlie. My fingers snap. My finger points. Ooh, I got it. Charlie's going to say it's not his. That's the true crime. There we go, because it is littering. And this can be the whole argument about who's going to pick up this piece of paper. It's going to fly away in the wind, probably. This might be fun. This is so much more fun than writing a crime story, which could be fun. Just, it's just another like tension of, I don't know, crime, destruction, and I've got plenty of stories I write like that on a daily basis. I don't need every single one to be like that. It can wear on the mind. It does wear on the mind, at least mine. So this is kind of fun. And Ember pops and Charlie, and there's Charlie. My finger snap. Charlie, my finger points. Charlie's going to have, excuse me. Apologize about that. It means I might need some water. Put that right here. The way I can at least kind of see it. And I'll be like, oh, water, that's healthy. Get that gurgle out of my throat that I sometimes have by the end of this, having talked and not drink water. A little too much information maybe, but my mind's a little bit relieved. I think I know I can go with the story. And so there's Charlie. My finger snap is a crime, yes, because and nature. So you're fighting against the nature of a child. So I'm going to write this out just so I get the voice in my head. So this is the conversation that, like, I think I would imagine having had. So it's, yeah. And maybe received once upon a time. Not indirectly or witnessed. I can't even remember getting lectured about leaving trash or just throwing trash. It doesn't matter. You should pick up trash you find. You found it. Okay, I like that. That's not poop. Well, it's not anything right now, but it has potential to be less stinky than it was prior. I have to beer. Not mine. Says Charlie. I lick. I'll pull a dad move right here. Of course, Charlie's gonna have a stick. Swatting a stick over the tops of weeds. All right. Well, I have words. I think this actually may fit some stuff. Mini characters, there's more than one. I got to get the river in there. Charlie swatting a stick at the river. Let's put the Y here. That way I can have the response and dialogue happen right after. It doesn't seem like you're waiting 20 years to be able to read with the response and maybe forget it. Not that I'm expecting my reader to have a short attention span, but let's just make it a little bit easier, a little bit more clicky, a little bit more of a pause. Charlie's like finally realizing they're going to have to listen. I'm going to just let someone figure out this kid's age. And pouty. So, they're at least still a 18-year-old kid or a younger. For starters, it's a crime. It's a $500 fine for littering in a national park, and we're here as a guest. It would be camping. It wouldn't be camping. It'd be sitting in the living room, sitting at the park, sitting in. By the highway. Let's not go to the freeway. That's a highway. That'll connect with more people. The freeway, the highway, toll strasse, toll roads. I don't know why I tried to say it in streets in a different way. My mind's going places with this. It's not really, it's more connected to the story than saying things out loud right now, I suppose, and that's good. That's the whole point. Let's write the story. Shut up and write. For starters, it's a crime. It's a $500 fine for living in a national park, and we're here. We're here as guests, as guests. Let's pluralize that. I gotta include everybody. If every guest left garbage, then we wouldn't just. This would be just like the city. It wouldn't be camping. It'd be like, you know. I think this parent, which I'm not gonna throw a gender on. I'm not even put a name on it. Anytime parent I see, must be a or leader or whatever, someone who's like in command and does it a lot. Like once that adrenaline of sort of frustration, let's call it, kicks in, you have that clarity, the focus of all your bullshit, for lack of a better word, gets fine-tuned into hard truth. And it's almost poetic. And I've seen various parents, more than one parent do this. Many parents do this. Who were tired, previous, and mumbling just because of life. And then there's that instructional moment that they needed to give to either their offspring, their kid. And like the clarity as well as the focus and the exact poetry of the words that came out. Just changed the mood and stuff like this. Not having the pauses of what you need to say or being tired or just kind of being dismissive. Which happens. And also happens more frequently the more humans you have to help take care of or participate in raising as much as they do you. I'm not asking. Okay. I clench my jaw. Knowing he's right. He's correct. But I can say, fine. No, let's not go there. Not that deep, though. I need to be more motivational than this, and there's some like cheap blackmail. I mean, that's still parenting. It's not blackmail. Blackmail would be like you did a bad thing. I'm going to tell somebody else. That's bad. Blackmail is bad. What I wanted to say was guilt. That guilt of doing your fair share. And there's that point of when you can be only a child so long. And then, but you can use that guilt, for sure, in a negative way by like not admitting you're wrong and then just pulling out the old devices like, do it because I say it's so and I'm your parent without explanation. And I laugh, and have I said that before? I don't think so. I've said things like it, but never. No, I've said that before. Just but in good nature, as much as the good nature banter has been back. So I've heard that said before, and I've listened to many conversations between parents as well. So I at least have a pool of evidence and experience. Why would I say blackmail? I guess there is blackmail sometimes in parroting, like, wash the dishes or I'll tell your mom about blah blah blah, or you'll tell your dad about blah 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 if you don't do this. I'd never done that before. I think just a bad approach. Yeah. Really way to be untrustworthy. That's a tangent. Let's get back to this story and this crime against nature. Person versus nature. The nature of this kid not wanting to do it. They're still growing. They haven't had the society beat them into submission with their oppressive rules. They're not oppressive. I'm just kidding, I suppose. Maybe. I clench my jaw knowing he's correct, but I can't say. Fine. As a parent, you pay your... No, it's not... right. And then with a little pain. All right. So how am I going to have this end? I mean, the easy way would be maybe it is done. Maybe it is. I mean, I just envisioned right now, like I'm already setting up and have set up. I have set some literary device that I can't think of the name of right now. But I can have this wrapper blow away into the river. This is about the river too. Or I could just have it end with the dad picking up the wrapper. No, they chase it. Yeah, I'm going to do this a bit longer. So if I have a comeback like this, then Charlie's automatically going to be older. You're not going to have like some 8-year-old be this witty. It just doesn't happen. If they do, they probably don't understand the entire context of what they're meaning. But this maybe a witty 11-year-old, 12-year-old. They're smart. What are they really? Or I mean, how would they know this? We drip. All right, I'm adding more. Look at this thing's gonna go in the river. Reaching for the candy wrapper. What do I have here? Do I have... Well, I have some time, and I need... I need... Do I need... I very much desire coffee at this point. I'll be right back. Well, I have more liquids. It slips from the weeds. Now I can make the river a central theme. I mean, it was where it should have been, so we have to include the river more directly, and that's what I'm hoping to do right now. All right, I think I have this right here. I'm going to do this as we drip by the fire. And then the water, so it doesn't need to be that many words. I could probably still keep this few words, like talking like moments of a memoir, not necessarily the entire memoir of a long lifetime type of story. First person, so let's just frame it such as that. Fudge. Tension snaps. I splash in the river, slipping on rocks. Frightening fish reaching for the wrapper. I slip and fall. Foot slips. Body splashes. Here's the wrapper you found. Boom. I think that's it. I don't want it to be longer. That's not bad. Maybe I should have just held off on the coffee and finished it up, but I'm glad I took that bit of a break. I don't want to overwrite this. I think the narrative changes a little bit, but frickin'. Slipping on mossy rocks, frightening fish reaching for the wrapper, foot slips, body splashes, arms flail. I kneel in the river. Let's make this end a little bit better. Charlie splashes past, leaps, snatches the wrapper, splashes into the river. We slop back to shore. He dangles the dripping wrapper. Here's the wrapper you found. I swipe the wrapper and smile. I swipe. The, pointing at the. That was a band, right? Let's not go tangent there. As we drip and shiver by the fire, I dangle the candy wrapper over the fire. It's 2 P's, right? Charlie says you shouldn't put that in the fire, chemicals. Charlie goggles eyes at me, remember? Smiles. There we go. I don't want to ruin it by adding more. I really don't. I mean, maybe just through and find a few things, but I don't hate this. It's probably better than I could have written the other stories. Which is why I didn't try to write them, I suppose. It was a little bit more difficult, too. A little bit more uncertain. A little bit different. And I've written the other stories plenty enough. Make it boring. This ain't gonna make someone feel like the world around them is dying. I'm done. Let's read the story elements and see if I've hit them. Story elements, setting time past. Yeah, I mean, there's no real time here, but this could happen anytime candy wrappers existed. Main location, river. I made it a main location by starting it there and putting them in the river. Yeah, so there's riverbed by the river. Person versus nature, a little bit. Like their nature of not wanting to listen to the parent or wanting to command because you're a parent or person to control a human versus the nature of picking up the garbage and all that and trying to sustain it so we have it because it's going to survive. Eventually, humans are the fragile things in this equation, in this environment. Quantity of primary characters, many. There's 2, there's more than 1. That may be a little bit failing on my part. Point of view first, yes, this is a first person written story. Tense, present tense, I believe so. Genre, crime. It states the crime. Littering. I probably failed on that one a little bit. It wouldn't be like a true crime, but Maybe they do drop it into it. No, I'm going to leave it as it is. And in the format flash fiction, it's definitely flash fiction. I think there's a conflict. It's the wrapper. They get the wrapper. There's a lot of tension. And maybe a satisfactory resolution. Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? With that, I'm going to read this aloud. Yeah. For today's stochastic fiction story, this is called Leaving a Trace. Leaving a Trace. Kid can't pick up the wrappers for heck's sakes. Charlie, come pick up your wrappers. Your wrapper. We gotta leave this place clean. I'm gonna read this again because I don't know why I pluralized wrappers. There's only one. It's bothering me. Sorry for the false start. Let's try this one more time. Leaving a trace. Kid can't pick up their candy wrappers for heck's sakes. Charlie, come pick up your wrapper. We gotta leave this place clean. The brown wrapper smeared with chocolate sticks on weeds and flaps with the morning wind. An ember pops. And there's Charlie. My fingers snap. Charlie, my fingers point. Wrapper now. Is there chocolate on it? I have to peer. Yes. Now mine, says Charlie. I lick the chocolate from my candy bar wrappers. That doesn't matter. I want you to come help clean up, starting with this. Charlie, swatting stick at the river, slowly walks toward the candy wrapper. Why? For starters, it's a crime. It's a $500 fine for littering in a national park. And we're here as guests, Charlie. And if every guest left garbage, then we'd just be like the city. It wouldn't be camping, it'd be like sleeping by the highway. But it's not mine. It doesn't matter. You pick up trash you find. Charlie shrugs. You found it. I clench my jaw knowing he's correct. And then with a little pride, causing my jaw to tense when saying, you're right. Reaching for the candy wrapper, it slips from the weeds and floats towards the river. Tension snaps. Frick, and I splash into the river, slipping on mossy rocks. Frightening fish, reaching for the wrapper, foot slips, body splashes, arms flail, I kneel in the river. Charlie splashes past, leaps and snatches the wrapper, splashes into the river. We slop back to shore. He dangles the dripping wrapper. Here's the wrapper you found. I swipe the wrapper and smile. As we drip and shiver by the file, I dangle the candy wrapper over the fire. Charlie says, you shouldn't put that in the fire. Chemicals. Charlie goggles at me. Remember? He smiles. It'd be like we're camping by the highway. Well, I'm feeling good about myself today, about that story at least. I'm going to have to give it a 4. I think it does need editing, of course. Everything does. Even things I've published before and are done and I will never touch and edit again. Maybe. Leaving a trace. Let's do what I do. We're going to commit this to my mind. Along with the transcript spoke today. Write a story with the story features, given the time. Rate this a 4. I don't hate it. And with time left and life to go, let's find more ways to write.